And we're live here from Nashville, Tennessee. This is the Ruined Radio Podcast. What's going on, guys? I'm Jake Jones. To my left is Justin Borsha.
Yes. Hey, what's up?
To his left, Andrew Stanton from the rock band Disciple. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. We got a celebrity in the house.
Celeb, yeah, I got a blue check mark on some kind of social media.
Well, there you go. I think that's all it takes. You're officially famous.
Verified.
I'm verified on Friendster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
There you go.
nobody tell me
know.
that doesn't mean anything.
Friendster? Is that a thing?
I actually never heard of that.
We have Brooks Holt. What's going on, man?
Waffles.
You've been gone way too long.
It's true. Was it like a month?
Missed
Back.
like 5
Way too long.
episodes so far.
I've been gone for a lot.
Dang, man.
I miss all the good stuff.
We got
I'm back now, though.
Luke Andrews.
Okay, Caucasian invasion.
You keep saying that.
That's not a thing.
The trend that
That's
will
a thing.
never
See,
catch
that's what
on.
Siri calls me on the phone.
That's not a
Caucasian
Just
invasion.
because Siri calls you, that doesn't mean that's a
Stage
thing.
name, dude.
I didn't know you were
Stage
Asian.
name. Cool. Yeah, Caucasian invasion.
No, that doesn't mean that he's
Caucasian
Asian.
invasion.
That's
Okay, anyway. Keep
and
on.
moving on. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Well, Justin's got a video rolling over there.
No, don't worry about that.
Looks like a
Someone's home video reel.
Don't worry about
Yes.
that. I have fail compilations on most of the day.
I can get lost in fail compilations and vines.
This one, yeah, I just scrolled down.
Oh, wait, that
I
one.
usually am pretty good about my search criteria, and I've seen a lot of them, so I dig sometimes. But this
Come
one's
back
winning.
for a second or third.
I just
viewing.
discovered on Instagram a guy has an account called Hall of Meat. Oh, so good, man! Those fails
tagged
were
in a couple of
priceless.
those.
Yeah,
Oh, you tagged me in there. That's right.
yeah. The
the
skateboard guy.
Oh, dude, that was so
that
good.
was a good one.
I feel like the beautiful thing
Record.
of fails and the name fail is that it pretty much put America's Funniest Home Videos out of business.
It did.
But they still have AFV, right?
They do.
Is that
and
still
it
a
has
thing?
Yeah.
like Carlton from The Fresh Prince is the guy now.
Dude, I would watch
Yeah,
it for that.
man.
Wait, for
I
real?
watch it just
For
for
real.
I hope you're right.
No, I just watched it.
Wow.
I just watched it. Yeah,
That
they
is
got rid of
awesome.
the other. What was it? Something. They had a bobblehead guy. What was his name?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
What was his
What
name?
could they
Bill
possibly
Science
do
guy.
all week at that show? They're just like, if you've got a funny home video, mail it on. Never mind, we'll just find it on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's basically fail blog. Like,
Yeah,
just
They must have some guys that scour deep for that stuff because some of it I haven't seen before, and I've seen a lot. So
You know your stuff.
That show Ridiculousness is the same thing.
yeah,
I've seen
That's just
that
the
show,
stuff
yeah.
that can't go on AFV.
So much better.
Yeah.
Well, have you
Yeah.
seen the Terry Crews show?
No.
That's what it's called. I think it's fails, like America's Best Fails or something like that. But it's Terry Crews, and he has a panel of celebrity judges, and they watch these fail videos. And they
Yeah.
watch, I think, like 3 at a time, and you or 6 or something like that. And then the celebrities each vote on their favorite one. Anyway, it's really funny. But it's Terry Crews.
That's when you got a good job.
right.
It's like, what are you
Terry
doing
Crews, yeah.
today? Looking
is-
at fat people fall off motorcycles.
isn't that
day
almost
long.
the
All day
same
long.
premise as Rob Dyrdek? Didn't he have something just
Yeah,
like that?
yeah,
Ridiculous.
Ridiculousness.
The
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, it was
yeah.
the same exact format, right? I mean,
Yeah,
other
his
than-
stuff is more like PG-13. Like it's the stuff that won't make it on AFV and stuff like that.
got
AFV,
you.
there's like a winner and
Yeah.
you get like a cash prize of like 15 grand.
Ooh,
Dude, whenever
like
someone
that. I don't know.
scorpions on Ridiculousness, that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
that
Yep.
must be a sign of the times. Like 15 grand. It used to be like $100,000 if
used
you
to
had
be
an
a lot.
awesome video.
I think it was
Yeah.
like $50,000 for
Yeah.
the episode winner, and then like $100,000 for like the season winner or something.
Hey, man, life was good in the 90s.
Dude, that was
You
that was the only place you could watch fail videos. Was America's Funniest
Maybe that's
Home
why they
Videos.
can't afford to give out the big bucks anymore. It's because not as
yeah.
many people are watching
Nobody's
anymore.
watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, way more people are falling, too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's not as valuable as it used to be. It's
not a rare
now we got those hoverboard things.
Yeah, that's
You've
true.
got razor scooters. Lots of
Scooter Squad.
You got the new trikes, those
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
big wheels.
Everybody
I
thinks
still want to make one of those so badly.
everybody thinks they're Tony Hawk, except for
Yeah.
they're
I
not.
am.
Did anyone
Tony
else see the
Hawk.
compilations and stuff of like the day after Christmas, everyone on their new hoverboards just busting butt?
Dude,
yeah.
it's so good.
Going into the Christmas trees and stuff.
I was driving in here this week from my house, and just my neighbor like grandparents and parents were out in the front yard watching little Junior on his hoverboard trying to do it down the sidewalk.
Dude, we were in Target on Sunday and some dude pushing his grocery cart on one.
Oh,
That was
rolling
no
around.
way. He had like a gold one, he had like a chain and everything.
That's smart
Casually
because
going
was
through.
rolling.
It looks,
Please tell me he was
Lil
like
Wayne.
80.
No, yeah, he was Lil Wayne.
that
actually.
looks pretty legit. And then that's balance. Like he's like that's like his safety net.
It's
you
like
know?
a segue.
It's fun when you see it from the
pretty
side
much.
though, but you don't see his feet. 'Cause it looks like he's just floating, pushing the cart because you don't see any like body motion.
That is incredible.
So I can tie two things in together. We were talking about bat bombs, but those
Wait, bat bombs.
hoverboards. I'm on. Yeah, it's going to be a tangent, but those
I'm ready to go. If
hoverboards
you
were
wanna talk
burning up.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I heard about
Yeah.
that.
they're made in
Oh,
China,
yeah.
and these people were getting them
Yeah.
for gifts, and they were burning houses down.
Speaking of
Yeah.
burning house on fire,
Is there?
Like
it was just on
Oh,
fire.
I
the
missed
lithium
it.
batteries will just like freaking blow up.
Anyway, and you were
She needs to hold
talking.
that gun a little different.
You were talking about
Incinerator, yeah.
bat bombs. So
Yeah, with
So tell us the story about bat bombs.
okay, here we go. So I think I've like individually had a conversation with every single one in this
I have
room
not heard about bat bombs.
Okay, World War II. This is
Batman?
totally legit. I looked it up on the internet and everything.
it must be true.
So yeah, it's 100% true. But yeah, there's like, so what we did was we had like a big giant bomb that was a
We
hollow
as in the
shell.
United States, or we as in you?
No,
and
like our
Brooks?
families.
Yeah, our families got together and made a militia. No, no, like the United States like made these big giant hollow bombs. We bought millions of bats from Mexico, and what we did was like we tied little incendiary rounds, timed rounds that blow up for fire, obviously. And
But
put, like,
I have a question real quick. So is
100,000
Mexico like
as
a
a-
bat dealer?
Yeah, no,
buy
they have these
bats from
caves.
Mexico?
They have these caves of like millions of bats in there. But anyway, so we bought a bunch. We
curious.
put them in like these big shells, like 100,000 each, in per bomb. Dropped them over different places in Japan in World War II, and they would all, the bomb thing would land. All the bombs or all the bats would go out and like roost like under cars and houses and chimneys all across Japan. They're all timed at the same time. And they would go off at night and just burn like whole villages and cities and everything down. So
horrible.
in response to that was the balloon bombs, which you've probably heard about. So Japan got like the incendiary rounds and
With the
stuff.
trade winds.
Yeah, and put them in like the jet streams and stuff over, which they're still being found. Brooks, like the last one was found
A
like
couple years ago,
in Alaska,
I wish.
right?
Yeah,
It was a couple years ago. I don't remember where
no,
it
it
was.
was like in
somewhere
South Carolina or
Oh,
something.
really?
It was somewhere in the U.S. though.
Yeah, but most of them just like went over like different like tree lines and pastures and stuff in America.
And so now the Chinese are breaking adolescent bones and burning the houses down on Christmas.
yeah, and they're still bitter about it, so they're like putting bad batteries in our hoverboards to get us back. Freaking
That's
communists.
the whole plan. Yeah, like look at the
good.
capitalists this way.
I apologize for that last 5 minutes.
Anyway, moving on.
When you first said bat bombs, I thought you said the word bath bombs.
bath bombs.
Because I was just introduced to what those were too.
Yeah, wait, I
Dude,
saw an
that's why
Instagram
I was
video.
confused.
That's
Yeah,
how you
that's
clean large
so-
amounts of dirty people at once.
yeah, and it's
Bath bombs. But that's what I thought you were talking about. And I was like, and my brain was just so confused.
yeah.
I would love
Which
to take
both
bath
are
bombs to the
equally
pool.
as cool. So
I would love to
neat,
do that.
they're weird.
Take bath bombs to the pool and jump in.
The whole thing sounds like a Batman story because Bat Bomb would be Batman's thing, and then balloon bombs is the Joker totally does that in the
True,
original
man.
Batman movie.
oh my gosh.
Wrecking
And
my
this is how we
mind.
know the
They're just-
Illuminati is real.
Yep.
100%. That is
This is how we know for sure that all of America's good stories have to do with World War II.
That's true.
And Batman.
100%.
Yeah, well, dude,
Well, if you can combine both, it's just a great
Captain
story
America, Saving Private Ryan. There's
Yeah.
at least 2 movies based on World War II that I can think of.
As far as
thought we were
as far
talking
as we
about
know,
movies.
all the movies
Fury,
are based
Fury
on
is
World
like
War
the
II.
best. I think that was World War One though.
What?
No, that was World War II.
Fury.
Yeah. everybody has good haircuts.
Not the
clean cut guys. No, I watched that movie and I was like, man,
Brad
I
Pitt's
want a
never
cool
looked
haircut
better.
like that. I just got this weird freaking fro thing going on.
I like your pro.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
gonna
Shia
grow it
used to
out.
have a fro thing too. You could look just like Shia
Fro
in that
thing.
movie.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Andrew?
Yeah, good. And right from Shia LaBeouf, we're into how you doing. All right. Nice move. I'm good. I'm great. Living in Nashville.
East
Got
Nashville?
our first house. Yeah, East Nashville.
Oh, you're a cool.
You want to
kid.
give out your address?
Super cool. Yeah,
There's
you can
people that would probably like that.
drop by. We're at 1020 Music Row.
Really?
I think that's like the Capitol Records building for Nashville or something. Whatever record label still
You're living in the
exists.
parking lot right
Yeah.
behind the dumpster there. Congratulations. You
If
guys
you
are
can't
moving.
bring
Yeah.
snacks.
It's a house that
You,
wasn't made for humans originally, but
Nice. So you
cardboard's
mentioned
been converted.
You mentioned you just got back
No,
from Germany and you were a little concerned
yeah.
because of the recent terror attacks. Tell us about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so we're at the Cozy House for the holidays, and we take this break in Germany, or break in December to go to Germany for this festival every year. It's super awesome. This is my 5th straight year doing it with either I Am Empire or Disciple, so
Nice.
super fortunate to have been able to do that for that many years in a row. And it's a really fun festival, a lot of tradition and stuff, and we're flying through Istanbul in the midst of all the
Yeah, that's,
Paris terror
that's a
attack
place to
stuff.
go.
So we actually ended up rerouting our journey to go through Dublin instead of Istanbul. Also, Turkish Airlines is kind of sketch, kind of
That
not.
sounds sketchy.
Were they the airline that like lost 2 planes? Was it Turkish or was it?
No, that was Malaysia.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Malaysia, yeah.
Malaysia
But
Air.
the Turkish Airlines has the highest percentage of like crashes from pilot error.
Oh, that's good.
Like they're basically
Our pilots are pretty mediocre. You should.
yeah.
fly
We
this airline.
researched a little bit. Kevin did and found that they were crashing like on approach. Like one time they landed in the taxi runway. One time they
That's no good.
took off when our plane was going to be landing, and all this stuff happened where it was all really preventable. And I guess they're just hiring pilots faster than they can train them. So we were like, you know what, we're just gonna
And like
take the
13-year-olds
hit
to fly the
and
planes.
Train 'em young.
Child labor's
Wow.
14-hour shifts. All you have to do is hit autopilot. Just
It's probably gonna sound racist, but what are the in-flight snacks like? They got like dried bugs and falafel.
Turkish. It's awful. I mean, I'd be down with some falafel. I don't
Falafel's
know.
good.
I don't know what Turkey. Maybe they pass out Zildjian symbols
Yeah,
halfway through,
that would be awesome.
That'd be the greatest thing ever.
I think that'd be worth the risk.
hand hammered.
Nice. That's
No,
crazy.
I really don't know. But on Aer Lingus, which is the Irish airline, we went through Dublin.
And
and
be
we
careful how
actually
you
did
say
take,
that.
yeah, I know. I was like, they didn't think that would translate. They didn't think about. They speak English, Aer Lingus. It's not like it means something else. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It is the Irish. The name of the big Irish airline
Nice.
has the 4-leaf clover on the plane.
You get lucky.
And all the flight attendants talk like the lady from Touched by an Angel, so you feel very
That's awesome.
Touched by an
very
Angel?
accommodated. Yeah, absolutely. You're close to the heavens.
So Or's preparing you of signs to come.
Yeah.
Depending on how the flight goes.
So what kind of food on that one?
So they had like
potatoes.
yeah, exactly, like potatoes and meat and
Fingers and mash?
Like the most like prototypical Irish stuff.
Guinness?
Uh,
They don't serve water. They only serve Guinness.
yeah, I was gonna say I think they
Go ahead
only
and-
served like everything but water. Like
Pour it over your
tea and
potatoes.
like
Water?
soup. I don't know.
You get
but
booed. You get,
but no,
every time somebody orders water, you get booed.
I didn't see any Guinness or anything, but I will say the water in Europe in general, you guys probably know this, they drink carbonated water. So you have to order water without gas if you want regular water, or say still water, because they just drink carbonated flavorless water. But I actually really like that. Like me and my wife drink it at home, so it's no big deal for me. I just take it. But all the guys are always like, oh yeah, I'll have a water, and then it gets there and they're like, can I have another one without gas? And it's like
Like a dead Sprite.
not so fast. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
But I think carbonated water is good. I don't know what the big deal is. It's like all the health benefits of water with a little more entertainment.
Entertainment.
That's a good way to
I
look
like
at
that.
it. Positive.
That's
you can
good.
get the Dasani with a little flavor hint. not bad.
I don't drink water. I don't believe in it. It's
That's good.
That's
I'm with you, dude.
this will
believe in
not apply to you.
science.
Soda or coffee?
soda or coffee.
Good old chocolate milk.
Flex it right now.
Flexing. Got
that cake.
my one pack. Dude, it's after the holidays, man. Trying to lose that weight.
So much food.
Yeah.
Dude,
food.
my wife had me doing T25 this past week, and it's my own fault. I'm the one that wanted the T25. I got it like a year ago. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I did it for like 3 weeks, I think. and then decided it just wasn't worth it, I would eat some kale for a month or something and hope that would do the trick and stuff.
Well, what's with kale lately?
It's a trend. It's
been trending. I watched some Fox News thing.
Kale.
It was the biggest, like after the holidays, it was the biggest trend, the biggest search on Google.
Oh yeah, I heard like people like trying to be healthier. It's like
Kale,
a month of
how to
that's
make
gonna
kale
happen,
chips.
and then it's gonna be where's the local pizza joint?
Dude, I've worked
After
in
they give
food,
up.
and it's true, man. I worked at a Moe's Southwest Grill, actually, just up the road
Nice.
for a little while, and that was so funny. January 1st, man, we sold nothing but fish and chicken, just the bowls, no tortillas, no carbs.
Yep.
Yeah, and that lasts till about middle of February, beginning of March. And
Yeah.
I need the cheese.
Yeah, I'll
dip.
take the home wrecker, extra cheese, extra meat, extra sour cream.
You know, our drummer, Joey, he loves Moe's and he used to work there. And they have this thing called the Joey Bag of Donuts, which I guess you call the Joey because he was telling me how much he loves it and that he used to work there. And I was like, oh, what's your main thing at Moe's, Joey? He just goes, the Joey.
Nice.
Yep, that's a burrito with no guacamole. I know it very well.
Okay, there
And-
you have it. kids.
I worked there way too long. Justin worked there too
I
for
know.
a while.
I was
feel
going
like-
to say,
feel like calling them and
Did the
getting them on,
sauces.
doing a little bromance over Moe's. 'Cause,
hey, we could FaceTime him.
Yeah.
If I know him, he's got his phone in his hand right now.
Yes. At all
it's all
times.
about you, man. It's all about you.
Man, I think a lot of people would be really surprised to know kind of that timeline. I was talking about working at Moe's. I worked there for 3 years, and this was after We As Human did Winter Jam. In fact, shortly after we did Winter Jam, we recorded our first full length. And for 3 years, I was a shift manager. And it's kind of fun. It's funny. It's one of those things. People think that we make a lot of money on tour, that we, that we're just rolling in the dough.
Back at the
And
day job.
I won't speak for you. I know you guys are probably, you make your, stuff your pillows with cash, and
They're rich.
your bunks and your bus are all cash.
only with 20s.
Only with 20.
Okay. Take it back then.
getting there.
No, but yeah, I worked for 3 years, and it was not simply to pay the bills when we weren't touring, but it was
Yeah.
also to pay the bills even more so for when we were touring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to save up
Yeah, it's
just to go on tour. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I will say for myself, before I was in a touring band, looking at bands like Disciple and I mean even other bands, bigger bands, I kind of had this idea. Oh, you get signed to a record label, you make lots of money, and they give you millions of dollars. And I was hopeful.
Yeah.
We moved to Nashville in 2011. I was like ready. We moved to a little apartment, and I was like, man, as soon as this record drops, shoot. Be driving the nice cars and making all the money.
Well, you expect that
Lambos.
at least they're going to take care of you, but
Exactly. At least your basic necessities.
Yeah.
yeah, you'd think that maybe they'll feed you, but no, it's very stark. The reality of the industry being the record labels don't have the money anymore to do that. It's not like they've got all these bands that get all this cash and then the Christian bands don't get any or something.
Wow.
It's just
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say that there's necessarily like an even playing field, but it's, I think, across the board now. The record label I was with was Tooth and Nail, so I guess I can only speak on that experience. And it's just a situation where, they're not like paying for, I'm trying to think of guys, like Under Oath or whoever is on Tooth and Nail these days. I don't know if they're officially back together on a label or not, but it's not like they're buying them Lexuses and sending them watches for Christmas, and it's like it's not 1985,
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I would even say it's not 1999.
Yeah.
or yeah.
It was funny.
Napster.
There was a moment when it shifted drastically. We were on Atlantic Records, and
Ever heard of it?
ever heard of it? Yeah. You ever heard of Bruno Mars? I don't know, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, and so I would say of all the major record labels, they're definitely, if they're not at the top, they're darn close.
Oh yeah. Well, it's them and Pacific or neck and neck.
But I mean, deep, super deep pockets. If but super deep pockets. If there was a record label that could afford to buy the Lexuses and all of that sort
Right?
of thing,
Yeah.
they would be the ones. But they, we got a signing bonus when we sign to them. We get and it's not a bonus, it's an advance. It's a recoupable advance that you have to pay back. But even, going into the second album cycle, same kind of thing. But it's not, that doesn't mean anything. And I think a lot of bands come into it thinking, oh, well, all the hard work's over now. I'm on a record label. I have a booking agent. I have a manager. Now I can kind of sit back and let them take over and just focus on the music. And that's not the case at all. The reason you got a record label, the reason you got booking, and the reason you got management is because they looked at you and said, oh, these are really hardworking guys that are willing to do the work. So that's less that we have to do. And unfortunately, what I think happens too often is the bands get the deal and they're like, okay, I don't have to work as hard anymore. And then the label's like, well, what are you doing? Why aren't you working as hard anymore?
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked at Moe's because I needed the money, and we'd go on tour and come back and like, all right, well, credit card's maxed out. Time to, time to pick up the job again. And, and if you're lucky, and this is not just our story, this is so many stories in Nashville. If you're lucky, you get a job, you get in good with the manager, and he lets you leave for tour and come back. Otherwise, you're getting a new job every month or something.
2 months.
Every month,
Yeah. But on that, so one of the things that I do and you do is teach guitar lessons.
Yep.
Raise a little capital. You want to tell us about your guitar teaching experience and how much you love? I love it.
Yeah.
I love teaching.
Yeah, I do too. I taught for about 5 or 6 years at a little music store in California when I lived there.
Oh, sweet.
So I would work at the counter 5 or 6 days a week, do 1 day a week of lessons, go on tour. They'd let me, go and come back.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was like dream situation. And I think I haven't talked to him for a little while, but I think they just had to close finally.
Really?
Yeah,
That's too
40
bad.
years
wow.
of business. And
That sucks.
Guitar Center finally torpedoed them hard, man.
Well, Guitar Center's not doing too good here, so
No.
they're about to get torpedoed themselves.
Maybe it was.
But that's too bad. Yeah,
But,
mom and pop shop going under like that.
But anyways, I got a lot of good experience with it there. Super thankful for my time and all the skills I gained there through that. And so I just took that to doing Skype lessons now. So I just do that from the home studio, and it's really awesome. If you
where can people find you?
Yeah, Facebook me, Andrew Stanton Music on Facebook.com.
Nice.
There's a little message button. You can just message me and I'll see it immediately.
Any of my students listening right now, you better not. You know who you are. So thinking about it.
Same.
You should. He's
down.
He's the real deal. You should.
You should take lessons from Justin if you want to learn really hard, fast stuff. And take lessons from me if you want to learn Stairway to Heaven.
Whatever.
And
Bullcrap.
the Beatles.
I'm calling bullcrap.
If Mary Had a Little Lamb is your thing,
Yeah.
Twitter, Jake
I
underscore
usually get to
WA.
Mary Had a Little Lamb by
Jake, I'll
like
be giving you a call
months
tomorrow.
Whatever. No, it's awesome.
my
There's
first
plenty to
student.
go
I got you.
around. I was
For sure.
I remember thinking that it was like my idea to do Skype lessons because I never heard about anybody doing it.
Yeah.
And then I think I met you and you said that you did. I was the first person I met. I was like actually doing Skype lessons too.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And then all of a sudden I realized like a lot of people do it. And then there's some big fish. I don't need to mention names. Started coming in and doing it, and it was kind of like, man, this is crazy, but it's been good to me. I mean,
I saw that too.
Yeah, he's noticed like all these guys started doing it. I think they stole it from us. I think a lot of them did, to be honest with you.
The OGs
Yeah,
of
I'm not trying to-
Skype lessons.
I started in like summer 2013, and I know it wasn't the first,
Yeah.
but I want to see timelines.
I was right around the same.
yeah.
I think I started doing it around the same time. Like no joke, probably the same time. You wasn't
Yeah.
inspired by you, but
No, I know,
we
'cause
both kind of started doing
I
it at the same
remember the
time.
first time we met. We talked about it, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh yeah, I do that too. And
Super
it was,
cool.
It was kind of that awkward, like, you're making it sound like, oh, I do that too.
Yeah.
me too.
Shot
Yeah,
put?
me
You
too,
play
Justin.
shot put? Oh yeah, I play shot put, man. Oh yeah, all
I'm
the
a shot
time.
put connoisseur, man.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love teaching.
Man, I do have to say you were a big inspiration for me because I actually kind of got Justin hooked up with the job at Moe's, working in the back as the prep guy.
I got lucky.
And it's funny, actually, the reason I stuck around at Moe's so long was because my manager was Tom Reardon. And most of you
what's up,
listening
Tom?
probably know who Tom Reardon is, but he was my manager at Moe's. The guy was 20 years old, managing a store and doing amazing. And so I stole him. I made him our tour manager. We hired him, and
Wow, that's cool.
The company let him come back and forth. And then eventually I think he moved on to do some other stuff, and now he's got a different job. But you were a big inspiration to me because we were both working the 9 to 5 going, man, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You get minus money for doing a job like that. Like they literally, like you're like,
They bill you.
You're clocking in, and
The
then
end of
the
the day.
interest is already
You work
accruing.
60 hours a week.
You get a lunch that you pay for, and then you get to go home.
It's so true. But yeah, you were a
You
big
gotta
inspiration.
go around and order from your coworker.
thank you.
I'll have.
Dude,
appreciate
it's so
that.
true. It's so true. Yeah, but he watched this guy. He was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna do something for myself. And so he left and started doing the Skype lessons. Now I've been producing for a long time. I produced back in New Mexico. I had a studio, and so.
Nice.
I finally was kind of like, man, I should get back into that. And I thought, living in Nashville, everybody's a producer. It's a joke. Everybody's a producer.
Yeah.
I see a lot of funny memes. People send me stuff all the time. So I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to make a dime doing this because there's a lot of amazing people around here, and there really are. But I also learned, just like with guitar students, there's enough to go around. As long as you're good at what you do, and both of you gentlemen are very, very good at what you do, there's going to be people that will pay attention and be able to learn from you. And so that's, it was just cool. It was
Yeah.
cool watching you do that, watching you step away from that
Yeah,
job.
well, feelings mutual, and you've inspired me to produce, and we're producing together, and we should all just high five or
Everybody's
something, man.
Everybody's producing.
Look, yeah.
Me and Brooks are trying to produce.
I didn't even know they were still here, to be honest with you.
I'm still over here gleaning, like, wow, wisdom just being
Me and Logan just like
shared.
rock, paper, scissors over here while y'all are talking.
So I want to give some props to Luke for these really awesome slippers.
Yeah,
Dude, heck yeah.
Man.
Shout out to the wool shop.
I'm
It's
over here.
dad's
My feet
business.
are sweating with jealousy.
As they should be.
Yeah.
So
Handmade.
Luke, tell me about these. So these are handmade, and they're actual sheepskin.
Sheepskin, heck yeah. Awesome lady. Her name's Roberta Thompson. She's like 80 years old. She's really good. She works for my dad at like leather smithing, all that type of stuff, and she just hand makes them. Pretty
They're great.
sweet.
I love it.
Merry Christmas.
Probably just gonna wear these for the rest of the winter, at least.
Dude, go for
I
it.
would.
Who
Springtime.
needs real shoes?
Dude, they're
I've got a
great.
pair of moccasins that I wear around the house
Yes.
pretty much all day. Yeah. Now that I work from home, doing the lessons
Yes.
and everything,
Nice.
it's like, yeah,
Living the dream, wearing
That-
the
yeah.
moccasins. Yeah,
those are the work boots, slippers.
so cool.
Putting on the work boots.
Yeah, it's a interesting dynamic working from the house because my studio room is sort of separated, so like I can go in there and be isolated, but
Yeah,
it's a weird concept to like not have to like, all right, I got to leave 30 minutes before my shift starts. Or
Right,
Something.
yep.
It's like at like 3:29, I get up and walk upstairs to do a 3:30 lesson. And
Put the bag of chips
That's really
down.
cool. Yeah. Russian crumbs.
Turn
like,
off
"Hey,
the
what's
episode
up?"
of Bones.
Pentatonic
put the
scale.
TV on mute.
All right, so you can still see it.
Yeah, no,
You're doing
Yeah, no, I saw photos of your
Give me one
studio. It
second.
looks great, man. I'm gonna have to come check it out.
Dude,
I can't
absolutely.
believe I
Why
haven't
don't
been
you guys
over.
come and jam?
I know I have no room to talk to give you any crap because I've been invited over a few times and couldn't make it. But
Oh, that's cool. It's a long.
I wanted
haul,
to come
man.
over for New Year's, but babies.
For those of you watching and listening, you might not understand that just because we all live in Nashville doesn't mean that it's not an hour drive to somewhere.
No, it's spread out. Yeah, that and people are on the road a lot, and
Yeah, it seems to be the ongoing thing too. Of everyone says, "Oh yeah, let's hang out," and then no one ever hangs out.
oh yeah, buddy,
Yeah, like, "Oh yeah, let's
hang
meet
out."
up this week."
That's
Yeah.
because it's one of those things that you say at the end of a
Yeah.
conversation with somebody is just kind of like, can I have something to say? And
And
then
then
you'll really find out in a month who's serious.
That's how you
Yeah.
get people to hang up.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hang out, man.
let's hang
all
out.
right,
Bye.
bye.
I'll see you later.
Okay, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, bye.
It's nearing the end of the conversation. Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
Sometime.
Oh, let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Well, hey, I was going to ask you, since I'm here with the whole lesson subject, how it is for you really being like a teacher instead of a player. Because, like, as a guitar player, you're always trying to become better in practice, right?
Yeah.
And there's like that sort of ladder.
Yeah, for me, it's like, no, sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just
You got
going
more?
to say, but for teaching, it's not really like about like being the best guitar player
Not at
in
all.
the room. It's like
No,
having that teaching dynamic and relationship.
Being the most prepared, the most articulate, and having good ideas that you can translate. That because you could play something amazing, but if they can't retain it, then you're not doing your job. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to convey all the points the right way and make the light bulb. I think for me, like going over modes when you really starts to like for guitar players don't really learn theory when they start because everybody just kind of like bedroom hero, and not everybody, but most guitar players like bedroom heroes, jamming some power chords, just learning songs. They don't really learn how a key cycle works and how the modes kind of integrate through chord structuring and harmonic backdrop, all that kind of stuff. That's just like over the head. But when you start breaking through that stuff, it really empowers students. So I mean, that's where I focus on really trying to drive that home. And then you can just make music. Then it's like, I know how to play a key cycle. I can write some awesome riffs. I know how to modulate stuff, and I'm good to go. Most people want to write awesome music. So.
I can totally play like a G.
Whatever. This guy. This thing about Jake is he's like the most talented guy at everything, and he plays dumb because he's really arrogant.
He's a Jake of all trades.
He does this. He does it. He's arrogant. He's a really arrogant dude. He'll pick up the guitar and shred better than everybody when we're off camera and be like, whatever, buddy. Screw you.
I think that's the defense. That's the I feel like I'm a crappy player, so if I just overdo I'm a crappy player in front of everybody, at least maybe I can get a laugh. And
Whatever.
I'm glad that this video
I'm in guitar royalty right now, so
existing for us to bring to light Jake's arrogance and
it's horrible.
put him up
dude.
for public
no
execution
idea, man.
socially.
No
speaking.
idea. He goes to like little league games, walks out on the field, takes the bat.
Just
Kids suck.
does the
What's
big
up?
point.
T-ball too.
Yeah, I've seen it, man. I've been with this guy for years on the road.
T-ball my jam.
T-ball.
We don't touch T-ball. That's what I do.
Jake
Now
T-ball.
he's showing off
Jake
his rap
T-ball
skills.
Jones. Look at some photos from when you were a kid and put it in the video.
Yeah, we'll be
Jake
telling
T-ball
our grandkids we knew T-Ball Jones.
T-Ball Jones.
He's got a new
Back in my
nickname.
day.
T-ball Jones.
Man, now he's got the best name.
I know.
Stop showing off, man.
Well,
non-stop, back to
not
back.
everybody can be over T-ball.
I really do want to get some recording advice from you guys, though, because I've got that, been in the room for however many records experience, but the, detail work, the, probably important things.
He does the air quotes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a really quick breakdown. This is going to blow your mind, but I told Robert Venable this when he was in. Just go on, get the best plugins, and just do all the presets. Preset. Good to go.
Save buttons.
As long as you kind of know where things should go and route and all that kind of just presets.
I retract
paid a lot
that
of money
last
for
comment.
that.
I'm set. I know as much as you, and I think I'm ready to go.
Watch a couple YouTube tutorials, presets.
I do. It's funny how that works. We did an EP back in 2011 with a guy named Nick Raskolinix. Now, Nick Raskolinix is amazing. He produced Foo Fighters and Alice in Chains, Rush, Ian Thornley, Evanescence.
Ian Thornley.
Just a couple of little nobodies. I'm totally name dropping.
Yeah.
No.
Just like some bands from the local scene of
Still trying to
We
make
needed
it.
vacation money, so we did us after.
No, that's probably.
That's probably what? Whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna go
Want to buy a new
TV.
amp? I'll
saving
take
up
on
for
We
that
As Human.
retirement nugget. I'll get We As Human in here.
No, man, we're not a retirement
get to
nugget.
the
We're
golden years early.
we're like a weekend at Vegas nugget.
No, but the guy is absolutely amazing. In fact, he's my favorite producer by a long shot that we worked with. But it's funny, we Blackbird. I mean, there's not a better opportunity in Nashville, Tennessee. There's not a bigger studio that has a wider variety of equipment than Blackbird Studios. And I was so excited being a producer, started, in my bedroom and moved on up, started making money at it. I thought, man, I'm going to learn so much. But I was just so excited. I was caught up in the moment, and I don't think I learned a thing. I think we were there for 2 weeks. I don't think I learned a single thing out of his studio, and I which actually I think is a really important key to a recording studio, is that we felt so comfortable. We felt so comfortable working with him. We were so excited just to be hanging out that it kind of was like, you know what? There's a lot of cool stuff in here, but I'm more amped about what's going on. And I think that atmosphere can be created anywhere. And
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to do with the fact that the microphones were worth more than my life. It was just cool. It was just fun, and Nick had a really great way of creating that atmosphere, and the studio itself was just a cool place to be. And in fact, I think we tracked most of it in their H room. And yes, each studio starts in alphabetical order from A.
Wow.
So we tracked in H, which I don't even think is the last one in line.
No.
And it was like, I think it used to be an office building. It still had the drop ceilings and the square rooms, but it was, so all that to say, it wasn't the most inspiring room necessarily, but the experience was really cool because we had a guy who was just so excited about the music we were making.
Yeah, I think a lot gets lost in the whole lore of it's an expensive studio in LA or New York or whatever, and the room has blah blah blah. But yeah, I think that the energy of the people and the character of, if you are using a lot of microphones, the character of the room, of course, is going to be important. But the way that recordings are done now, I know in Nashville, a lot of the time they'll do a drum studio. Like we just did drums for our Vultures EP with Ben Phillips down there in Berry Hill, in Nashville, and super awesome guy. Just the whole setup. It's like a studio about this size is set up for drums. He's got this vintage Ludwig kit, but it's just an old house. It's just an old house with hardwood floors and some old like pillow looking soundproofing up. It's not anything crazy, but he has a preset pack for like Tune Track Superior because his drum sounds are legendary.
Sure, he does.
He's played for Jake Owen and every big country artist. So it's like a big deal. And was it awesome to do drums there? And did his like room and everything add to the recording? Absolutely. But I think still more than anything, the guy playing it was really in the songs and the parts. And if you get past the whole lore of that stuff down to the core of it, you can really get a lot of good products. Those legendary records aren't always made in the $1 million studios. Like like Van Halen 1 was recorded in 8 days.
Wow.
I'll record Eruption, just 4 takes, and we'll use the one with the least amount of mistakes on it, and the way that bands get to that level, they get vaulted, is usually on a low budget record. Right?
Yeah.
And then the follow-up always bombs because it's like this huge expensive
they
film.
have all the money.
And they're not,
And it becomes all about all the cool things that you can do, and it gets that was something that we talked with Robert Venable about. He was on here a while back, and that was a big thing. You said exactly what he was saying. These legendary records aren't necessarily made in legendary studios, and you'd be amazed, especially in Nashville. It's funny. Somebody was asking me about what's cool to do in Nashville, and I said, well, you should go check out Music Row. But I got to thinking about it. My first time to ever drive down Music Row, I was thinking, am I in the right place?
Yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah, it's a little underwhelming, like the being from California, going to LA every now and then as a kid, and seeing San Francisco on the weekends and stuff. It's like there's this kind of ritzy factor, and Nashville doesn't have that.
It's houses. They're all houses. All these management, business management, publishing, record labels. I mean, a few of them are in like office buildings, but a lot of them are in their old houses and old. I mean, old, like over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And they go in and they turn them into recording studios and all kinds of cool things. And I think that really kind of captures the Nashville vibe too.
Yeah, it
people,
does.
People want that kind of vintage just feel about their life. Yeah.
The whole like cliche part is the hipster thing, but it's really that, more simplified country vintage feel. One of the artists I think is doing a really good job capitalizing on that in the right way is this guy Jason Isbell. He's a kind of like new wave country singer, and he lives and records out here, and it's just super raw, hearty recordings, kind of like he's like a mellow Springsteen.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how accurate that is, but that's kind of what it strikes me as. And it's very simplistic on the recording side, not a lot of production value or whatever, but the songs and the energy and character of everything is really good. So I think that's, really important. And then plus when you're doing that first record, like we're talking about, you've usually had a long time to write all those songs and practice them, and you get that relationship with them. And then you go to do your, follow-up album, and you've only had 2 years to tour, write, and now record a whole nother album. And it's not always enough time. It can be, like a lot of bands will put out an album every year if you let them, but
Yeah.
a lot of times it's not enough time, but you got to be on that, capitalistic schedule of a record every 2 years. And, I wonder sometimes if people would get a way better record if they waited. Like, Def Leppard did Hysteria. It was supposed to come out in 1985, I think, and they weren't that happy with it, so they just scrapped it.
Wow.
And started over.
Back when you could have some money to do that kind of thing.
This was also back when
Back when they were-
20 million for the record was like a cool 20 million.
What?
And
Chump
so
change.
it comes out in 1987, and of course is this huge record. But
Yeah.
I liked Pyromania better. So
I think I'm with you on that one, actually. Pyromania. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a question. We threw it out there online. Just kind of have some Q&A session going on here.
Sweet.
Little Q&A with some people on social media. Jamie wants to know, since moving, what do you miss most about the Bay Area? You're from the Bay. What part of the Bay
great
Area?
question.
What?
I'm from San Jose.
Okay.
408. That's the only number I can throw out there to represent the Bay Area without being affiliated to a gang.
What do you?
That's the area code.
Oh.
There's a lot of numbers that I won't say that are all.
Okay.
But
You miss about it?
I don't miss that.
Don't miss the gangs.
Don't miss the gang activities. I mean, the weather is the easiest thing to say because it could be 65 any day of the year there. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
But Nashville weather's not bad. The thing I miss the most, without a doubt, is Mexican food.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss,
I'm with
West
you.
Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
West Coast, SoCal, like Cali. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even in Seattle, Washington State, you're going to find some good Mexican
That's
food.
true.
And
Very
out
true.
here, I've literally gotten Costco chips and tomato sauce as a chips and salsa that I paid for at a restaurant.
No, I've been there.
It's
It's ridiculous.
it's so gross. And yeah, to go from San Jose really has, or California maybe in general, it really has its own kind of Mexican food too, which I think most people, at least white people, will say is like the best
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah.
That's like, the perfect, like, midnight burrito or whatever.
Midnight burrito.
Or breakfast or
Yes.
lunch or dinner. Like I would do, 4 a day sometimes.
I hear
I
you.
think.
Yeah. I miss that too.
But
Dude,
anyway,
I just stick
that's
with
what I miss.
Moe's and Chipotle.
About one
Yep.
more. Well, there's a ton. We could go on forever, but I'm
got one
kind
after
of
this that I
curious.
thought was cool.
Okay, 2 more, 3 more. Can do a bunch. Favorite guitarist. Chance wants to know who your favorite guitarist is. Who's inspired you the most? I want to know that. Who's
Okay.
inspired you as a guitar player the most? Like Van Halen, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, Eddie Van Halen.
great question, Chance. Eddie Van Halen, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy for me where I was a fan. I really liked Eric Clapton when I first started playing, and the other guys that my parents would listen to,
Yeah.
more mellow. And so when I was kind of trying to find my own thing, I started discovering, Ozzy and Metallica and those bands. So you get those, the big Guitar Hero
Sure. Oh yeah.
guitarists slash and I liked them all a lot, but there was this like certain sound that I knew I had heard before that I just couldn't find, and I finally when I was 15 I really listened for the first time to Panama from 1984, and that was like it for me. Knowing a little bit about how to play guitar for a few years and then hearing that, it's like, wow, you go from this mode where you're talking about bedroom hero playing power chords.
Yeah.
You used to be playing the Supertones and Blink-182 and Sum 41 and all those things. Da, 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 da.
Nice.
Yeah, jumping off the bed frame, So about that. And you go from that mode where it's like you're just moving chords around and playing notes, and then you hear something like Van Halen where the whole instrument is playing
Yeah.
an entire piece of music all at once.
Yeah.
Like it's like Mozart.
Absolutely. He's playing
by
it with power
comparison.
drills
Yeah.
and tapping it in his foot and all. I mean, that guy's incredible, man.
Yeah, and the
Hey,
fact
power
that
drills. Playing with
yeah,
drills, man.
pound cake, dude.
No, Paul Gilbert, man. That's straight Paul Gilbert.
Is that Paul Gilbert?
Yeah.
Didn't Eddie did it too?
No, dude, I
who
think
did it
Paul
first?
Gilbert
Yeah,
was the
Eddie did
first
it
guy.
first, man.
What are you
Yeah,
saying?
you're a little too young for this conversation, my friend.
no, dude, I'm pretty cultured.
He might have it
As a
because
drummer, I don't
Racer
know
X
that.
used to they put guitar picks on the drill
They
bit.
did, but I thought
And it would-
Eddie was in the Smithsonian interview. He was talking about taking drills and putting them up against the pickups
Oh.
and stuff back in the day. Like,
For
and
this-
I think that
Gilbert, like, I'm the biggest Paul Gilbert fan. Freaking, he autographed the back of this guitar neck for me.
Wow, he just went and got an
no, he
autograph
did.
from Paul Gilbert.
He did.
I know,
but I
it's
don't
Paul
think
Gilbert.
Paul was the first.
No, Mr. Big. It was Mr. Big, and like there's videos
But
of
Eddie
like a
was doing that
shirtless
stuff before. I mean, dude,
beautiful
I'm pretty
named
sure Eddie
Paul
did it
Gilbert
first,
was-
man.
So
You want to
Ed-
make a bet?
I do.
We can look
I do.
interesting.
I don't even know.
Coffee from
Well, you're
Kimmy G.
wait. So while you're looking that up,
Okay.
bet some
Yeah.
coffee from Kimmy G.
Heck
Yeah, research
Shout out to
department.
Red Oak
Go
Cafe.
ahead and
All right, so there's a couple questions here. Christina Strawn, Smurfstina on Twitter.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she asked a couple questions. She asked about the City Rock Fest tour, which I'll let you talk about in a minute if you're so inclined.
Oh yeah,
But this one I thought
reclined.
could be. I thought this one could be funny. But what's the weirdest Christmas gift you've ever gotten? Weirdest, and that
I
could
like
be
that
dangerous
question.
because that could be
Yeah.
like a Christmas
No.
gift from mom. If mom hears this,
Yeah,
sorry, mom.
I could ruin my relationship with my family right now. No, it's actually a really funny story, and it's just from last year. Last Christmas, I went home, and my wife and I, my parents and my brother, doing a gift exchange, and it's really not that weird of a gift, but the situation's weird. I told my wife I wanted to go to Toys R Us to get her something. She said, "Oh, that's perfect. I want to get you something there too." I said, "Oh, that's funny." So we go, and I got her Battleship because we had talked about how we never played board games, and we used to play that when we were kids. So I found this Battleship, and like I check out by myself and put it in like a opaque bag, and I'm waiting for her. And then she gets me something, and we're like, oh, this is so weird, at Toys R Us. So then we're at my parents' house, and we open it, and she gives me, "Okay, you open yours first." And I open it. Battleship.
Oh, you both got each other Battleship.
So I don't say
relationship
anything
goals,
and
though,
just
man.
hand her hers. She's like, "What? I thought you wanted that." And then she opens it, and it's hilarious. And then right after that, literally the next gift was my parents gave my brother something, and he had asked for a vinyl of one of his favorite bands, the Deer Hunter. And then now there's also a band called Deer Hunter.
The Deer
It's
Hunter
not
and
the Deer Hunter.
Oh, no.
DEER. I forget which one has the. But they got him the wrong band, so he opens it and he's just like, puts it down, like, "This is the wrong Deer Hunter." And then I'm pretty positive the next gift we got my dad a Fitbit, and my mom had said that he wanted it. So we got it for him, and he opened it and had no idea what it was. He thought it was like some kind of new iPod. So
Oh, man.
it was like four gifts in a row of just like falling flat on our faces. But the good news is we have 2 Battleship games, and my dad actually loved the Fitbit and like still uses it. So, but
Dude, don't have like Battleship tournaments though.
I know we should. We got one of them was electronic, so it's like perfect for. You don't even have to, say like hit or splash. It tells you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you said your favorite game is Battleship. What's everyone else's
Yeah.
favorite board game? Because me and my friends, we used to play video games like all night, and I don't know, it was like right before we got out of college, it immediately transitioned to board games from video games, and now we never play video games anymore. Like whenever people come over, it's like Monopoly or Risk or Catan, just
Oh.
random games.
Dude, my favorite board game is easy. It's a game called Quelf.
Dude, I just played that for the first
ever play
time
that
over
game?
Christmas. It was so much fun.
Our old bassist Dave, him and his wife had the game Quelf. I don't remember even really how to play other than there's like
is good.
ridiculous. You have to like
Yeah.
do ridiculous things.
Yeah, so like it's a card and you all have a little token and there's different colors and so you roll the dice and there's like red, blue, yellow, green, whatever, and you move that many spaces and there's a different theme card for each color. So there's like action or stuff
like
was one of them.
categories.
Yeah, category. There's one where you pick one of 2 categories and it's like types of fruit or something that's the color blue, or it can get really complicated. Each person has to answer the question.
Wow.
And just keeps going around. So, and and that you have to act out bits, and it's hilarious. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just played it the other day for the first time.
Quelf is a really funny game. It just kind of puts everybody in a weird situation.
I remember wrapping myself up with toilet paper to be like a mummy at one point in that game.
That's right. I never played this game. We need
Wow,
to.
that may be
that
the
was-
only
that was-
Find a
game
Walmart
that
might have it.
quantifies that.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna stop at wrapping yourself with toilet paper and not say that it was part of the game. I was hoping you were just gonna stop there.
One time I wrapped myself in toilet paper.
Sometimes you just gotta wrap yourself in toilet paper, man.
Sometimes
Yeah,
as a
extra.
grown man, you.
What's your favorite board game?
Yeah.
Paper towel. Just
Oh, I thought you said, "What's your favorite toilet paper game?"
I said I had a little hard of hearing. That's funny. Well, I do have a
Bible quizzing.
Bible quiz. No,
it.
I do have
my favorite.
another question. Let me find it.
We could go Bible.
Yeah,
We should
shoot.
talk about the Bible.
No joke. One time, a runner was driving us and Disciple around, and it was like a dead quiet in their minivan, and we're on the way to the airport or something. And she just goes, "Okay, guys, who's your favorite Bible character? Can't be Jesus."
That's awesome.
That was Rock the Desert. I'm pretty sure because I think we got
I don't know.
that same runner.
He told you, yeah, told you about it.
Probably somebody up north. I can just hear that and like that. Oh,
You may have
eh?
even been in the
Who's
video.
your, who's your favorite Bible character, eh?
Don't
Oh,
you know?
you betcha.
Well, okay. So actually, this I think this is a really good question and something I've been thinking a lot about
Yeah.
as I approach 30. And there
Follow
may or may
the
not
cliff.
be people in this room who have already passed 30.
It's all right. I'm a vampire. Don't
what's
matter.
It's Luke
Actually,
Andrews.
29. I'm coming
This is
up
a
on
really good one.
30.
This is from Carolyn Castro. She's Carolyn Castro 03 on Twitter. And she says, what's a bit of wisdom you would want this younger generation to know? But I'll take it even a little bit further, like a piece of maybe touring wisdom. Like,
Sure.
and there's a lot of parallels, between just band life and living life, living dreams, and trying to pursue what you love to do. But what's something you've learned, and I want to kind of get into this here in a minute, but your story,
Yeah.
You came from California, you were in another band before Disciple and all that kind of stuff. It was just a piece of information, just a bit of wisdom.
Well, let's see. It could be so many things. One thing I've been thinking about recently is, kind of going with the times here is since we've moved and everything, I've got this new awesome group of friends, including you guys and all the dudes that we know in the circles of bands and stuff, which is pretty awesome. Because even when we were touring in I'm Empire, everybody lived in a different state. So it was like just this separate world, and before that, it was like my dream to, roll deep with the guys from Pillar and whoever. And it's really awesome. It's exactly where God wants us to be, and I couldn't be happier with it. But the amount of missing I do from my friends back home, I just really value my friendships and the people from my family and all the people that made sacrifices and concessions and teamed up with me to do things in music or just in life. And they're all spread out over the country now too. I'm not the only one to have left home, aka the most expensive city in the country right now.
Oh, wow.
I believe it.
And it's a normal thing for a non-tech tycoon to leave San Jose, but just thinking back on all those years and all that time, like valuing the friendships and relationships and really seeing the amount of investment that they did in me and hopefully that I did with them, and we had that in a friendship. Just valuing that is really important. I think maybe for younger people nowadays, social media has replaced so much of the sense of worth and belonging that you got from your group of friends. And I was really fortunate to have a great group of friends. We didn't really get into trouble, and everyone was pretty nice, had each other's backs and stuff. But I value that so much, like especially those, junior high school years of friendships. And I would just say to the younger people out there to value those relationships, and not just to, keep them and like their stuff on Instagram, but to really invest in, those relationships, because you'll keep those for your whole life. Like I even heard that when I was in that stage of life, like these are the friends you'll have forever, you know. And I was just, oh yeah, of course they are. But it really is true. Like those group of guys are like, you know, always going to be my group of guys. And whenever I get to go home and we get to, like, my best friend got married a couple months ago, and my other best friends were all in the wedding party too. And, you know, it was like this awesome reunion. So, you know, between being away and then seeing them when I go back is like this big value on that now. So I would say that, I guess, for younger folks. And, you know, that ties into touring a little bit with being gone and everything. And for people that want to be musicians, it's going to happen. You know, you're going to have to leave home, whether that's moving or just spending most of the year on the road. So, you know, learning how to keep those relationships, I think, friendships intact, is important. But I'd be happy to elaborate on something tour related if that's too vague.
No, that's good. Yeah. Well, I'm curious, and I think Justin knows a little more of your story as far as how you came to where you are now. And he even started to tell me earlier. I said, no, wait, don't tell me. Because I wanted you to tell me, because I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks for the hype.
So dude, I was letting it build like pressure. Jake was like, stop.
Drop the beat.
Don't tell me.
When will the bass drop?
No, so how did you get to here?
How'd you do stuff,
What's
man?
your story? I think
stuff.
So one thing, I lived in Austin. I moved to New Mexico. I lived in literally a village, middle of nowhere. I didn't know any musicians. I was not in contact with people in the industry whatsoever. I didn't know anything, and all I wanted was somebody to just tell me how they made it. And actually, the first concert I ever went to, excuse me, was a Disciple concert in early 2000s, 2001, 2002 maybe.
It's awesome.
And
the By God era.
Yep. And it was the
mistaken.
first opportunity I ever got to stand in front of a rock star, somebody who I truly just loved, admired, Disciple, my favorite band. And I asked Kevin, how do you do it? This is what I want to do, but how do you do it? And it's difficult because in a signing line like I was in, and it was a little bit different. The crowd had kind of subsided, so I got a little bit more time to chat. But there were still other people, you know, and I get it now. But at the time, you know, there were just so many people. You don't have enough time to really sit and tell that story. And even after that, I had some other people that I got to meet, usually via signing lines or maybe a VIP or something. And I would always ask, because that's what I wanted to do. How did you do it? What's your story? And I kind of got the same answer a lot of times. Well, you just got to work hard, pray, make sure this is what God wants you to do, and just pursue it, you know. And while that's 100% true, there really, and the truth is, there really is no one way to quote unquote make it. But I think definitely the more stories you can hear, the more you can learn maybe how this guy did it or how this guy did it. For me, it just kind of gave me some little pointers of some do's and don'ts. But I'll shut up now. What's your story? How did you get to here?
Yeah, well, that's all really good stuff that you're bringing to the table, because all of that that whole spiel has become a canned answer, I think, for people that are in church and want to do music or want to do anything artistic. Really, that becomes just make sure it's what God wants you to do. And like you said, that's absolutely true and absolutely the most important thing, but it kind of becomes this like stock answer for us, right? The most important thing that I could fit into a one-liner is opportunity looks a lot like hard work. And you guys know this from playing and recording, and all of you guys, hours of practice to play one song. That's kind of the microcosm for, I think, anything in life that you want to do. The opportunities that you get don't just arise. They don't just come. People tend to maybe over-spiritualize, which sounds maybe blasphemous. Not saying that something couldn't be spiritual, but thinking of things in this way where it's going to fall into my lap, I'm just going to find a wife, or I'm just going to find a band or whatever. But the opportunities to make decisions in life get presented to us through the decisions we make leading up to them. So I think the decision to work hard at something presents you with the opportunity to make another decision, to join a band, to ask somebody to marry you, or to say yes, I'm going to take this job, whatever it might be, making the move across the country. And that's something maybe gets overlooked amidst the important spiritual side of things. Prayer, listening for what God wants you to do is another important thing. Not just, I can feel it, man, God wants me to be rich, or whatever it might be. Like it really should be something that you feel like, I'm gonna sit in a room by myself and pray and just listen for what God wants. And I'm gonna be honest with myself about it. That's a pretty difficult thing to do, but I think if you do those things and you work hard, that's how those opportunities will come your way.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
that's good.
Was that? I'm totally getting away from the point.
No, it's
No,
okay.
that was great.
That was really good.
I was gonna add. I can add a little bit if you guys don't mind. You have to be the right guy at the right time. Obviously, everybody wants to feel like they have a calling in life, and that's true. Everybody does, but this industry is so difficult to navigate through. You got to be good at your instrument. Also helps to be a really good songwriter. So if you can write good songs, and then if you can present good songs by making great demos, there's a techie aspect to it.
Yeah.
And from there, if you can beat down producers, a couple of them sitting right here, shameless little plug, but no, finding the people that can to take your material and present it in a way that's going to really have an impact on people in the industry. I mean, so if you're really good at songwriting and you can play your instruments, and you can, if you're a band, obviously you got to be able to play good together and have a chemistry, then it's something to think about. Then it might be something, and obviously if it's a calling, then God being first, and that's the hardest part of all of it is staying committed. I mean, really being in the Word. Yeah. If you're doing it for the Lord, which is a noble pursuit, you got to have the skill. So you got to practice your instrument. Helps to write good songs. Helps to be able to make great sounding demos so that you can attract people. And then you got to know who to contact to help produce and to put your music out to the populace.
And to be a good person. That helps a lot too.
I think a lot of people, when I started out, I didn't know that. Like, I just thought, like, you're amazing and somehow, like, something magical is going to happen. And all these people are going to, like, want you to come be in their band or something. It's not like that. You just got to work. Yeah. You got to have opportunity, luck.
Emphasis on the work.
Yeah, you got to work because you've got to be the right guy at the right time. So if you're the wrong guy at the right time, you're not going to get the gig.
You're the right guy at the wrong time.
Be the right guy at the wrong time.
I think we're onto something with the song, guys.
Yeah.
Right time, wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Sounds like it could be a hit.
I'm done. I'll leave it at that.
I think that one.
That's my moment of musical advice.
My question for you was, how did you get to where you're at? Like, so when did you start playing guitar? When did you decide, find out, whatever, that you wanted to be a touring musician? When did was I Am Empire your first band, or did you have other bands leading up to that? How did you wind up in Disciple?
Yeah, well, it all started with my dad. He played guitar and played at church and stuff, and taught me a few chords. So I started playing, and they got me. I was 11.
Okay.
Yeah, 1999. A whole millennium ago, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out your age now.
Yeah, I'm 27.
Oh, okay.
For a couple more
we're
months.
the same age. So. Wait, when's your birthday?
March 4th.
February 16th.
Nice.
I turned 28.
Whoa, bro.
You're so old.
What's up, bro?
Get the cobwebs out of my eyes and my armpits every morning. Sorry, I derailed your story. So you were 11 years old. Your dad was teaching you bar chords and stuff.
Yeah, he was teaching me how to strum. I think the first song I learned to play was Lola, that old 70s song.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Just those first position chords. And they got me in lessons, and I had a great teacher, this guy that played jazz. So he would teach me how to play lead, and I learned everything by ear, memorized scale positions, and I'd learn these jazz arrangements that he'd written just by memorizing them. Like, we'd do a little bit each week or whatever. And it was really fun, and he was very free-form about it. We didn't have a curriculum or a book or due dates or anything. So it was very fun.
I like that form of teaching.
Yeah, I try to stick to that, but also supplement, because I also, I didn't learn anything about the academic side, so I had to learn all that later. What's a key? What's a time signature? So I kind of I'll do tabs. Do you use Guitar Pro in your lessons?
Yes, I do.
Life
Guitar
changing.
Pro.
I've been on it for like 3
Yeah,
months now.
I encourage my students to get it because I can just send the actual file.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, yeah. Some of the best $50 I've ever spent, for sure.
indeed.
And I like to incorporate that for that reason, but I loved playing with my teacher, doing the lead stuff, and then I'd learn how to play the supertones with my friends, and that kind of turned into us starting bands and stuff. So I Am Empire was my first real band. We weren't always called that. We were called Impact, which was a great name.
Impact. It's like
Okay, We As Human was Push
WWE.
first.
Push.
Push.
I mean,
Push Impact.
that's not horrible.
These are
I've
all
heard
like
worse names.
WWE band names.
I think the problem was that it
John
already existed.
Cena.
Bush.
John Cena.
Our next band,
And
John Cena.
Yeah, so Impact was me and Austin from I'm Empire, and we had a bunch of our friends played with us over the years, and they were all awesome. And they just kind of interchanged with whatever, going to college or
So
dad
you guys-
says I have to quit, and
And you guys were on Tooth and Nail, right?
yeah.
So how did that happen?
We were called Vespera for a while, and we kind of became a cooler like local band, and had people come into our shows, and we're in this like music scene thing. But then someone else had that name, so we chose I Am Empire in the wake of that, and we played and recorded on our own for a couple years before the Tooth and Nail thing happened. And then we did 2 records with Tooth and Nail and did touring for, I guess, 4 years. Did, touring, hard tours in the van and everything. Some of them were great, like awesome, life-changing tours.
And now
Some
you
of
guys
them
are signed
were
to Tooth and Nail, which is, a major record label.
Yeah.
Now, you might call it a Christian record label, but, the bands are Under Oath, Reliant K was on Tooth and Nail for a while. Is that right?
They might have been, yeah. I mean, growing up, that was all I had. Supertones were Tooth.
And now these are guys that are, they're breaking
everything.
outside of the Christian realm and doing well outside, and you're still in a van, right?
Yeah, and it was a dream come true. Like, we were going to sign with another smaller label called VSR because they were going to give us a really great record deal. And Tooth and Nail had offered us kind of their stock thing, and we were looking at it like, well, we can do that, and it'd be really good, but this one's got better like numbers built into it. And then Tooth and Nail passed on us, so then we were going to do this other deal, and then Tooth and Nail changed their minds. I guess our manager had done what we wanted and must have nailed it, because we got a better offer from them and ended up taking it. So it was really cool, and I loved being signed to them. They were a great record label to be a part of because they have that built-in fan base. If you put out a record, there's automatically however many thousands of people all over the country and the world are just going to get it because it's Tooth and Nail. And I think we got most of our exposure that way. But yeah, as far as tour support goes, not really a lot in the way of that. So we had our own van and our own gear, and we used our own money to do the tours, and got paid nothing on our own.
And this is with a record deal.
And yeah, as we went into the label, we thought some of that would start to change, and it never really did. There's classic miscommunications and your typical things where we probably got taken advantage of a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm Empire was a band of 5 best friends. We grew up together, and we're all really nice. Like, we would be mean to each other sometimes, but we were all real nice, and we didn't have like a leader, like an alpha. So we kind of did the democracy thing, and thank God we had 5 people back then. And it would
Had
just
the
turn
swing
into
voter.
this scenario where like we didn't really protect ourselves as much as we should have. So I don't put any blame on Tooth and Nail for any of our hardships, because it's not their responsibility. First of all, they paid for our records to get made. That was the deal, and that happened, and it was awesome. And the 2 records we did were a couple of the best experiences of my life. We did one with Rob Hawkins here in Nashville. So that was our first time coming to town here. It was awesome, and that record was called Kings. I love that record. And I love the second one too. It's called Anchors. We did it with Brian McTurnan in Baltimore, and he'd produced a bunch of bands that we grew up in, records that we grew up loving, like Thrice and Circus Survive and
Nice, cool.
Hot Water Music and all these bands that, you know, even if they weren't like the classic rock level for me, it was like I grew up with Artists in the Ambulance in my CD player in my car. And now we're recording in that studio. You know,
Yeah.
that's
That's
and,
cool.
and it's a super nice state-of-the-art studio. It's a warehouse where there's like a loft that you live in upstairs, and then the
wow.
whole bottom level is this state-of-the-art studio. So it's like this insane experience where you're literally living in the studio for a month, right in downtown Baltimore, in this like amazing part of town.
That's
So
awesome.
It's,
Baltimore's cool.
yeah, I really bonded with that city, and we were there for 4th of July and very patriotic, and it was nice enough to where we'd walk around every night, just walk around downtown and explore. And you're in the harbor with
The
the
bay.
water.
Yeah,
it's
cool stuff.
very cool.
Went to Camden and saw an Orioles game.
Oh yeah.
And we did some of that stuff in Nashville too, but it was a lot more like, we stayed in this little. I drove by it the other day and it trips me out to see it still, because like that's like a different universe in my mind, But it's this little Quality Inn in Franklin. And,
Yeah,
we'll
dude.
drive by it on
I feel
Franklin
ya.
Pike or whatever.
Dude, I've
Maybe
stayed
that-
there before.
We stayed in the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, you know what I'm
stayed
saying?
there
By the
before.
Wendy's.
Yeah, on off days, like on off days and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Backyard
I
Burger. Used to hit that.
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
So what happened? So
that
you
was
guys
that chapter.
So you guys recorded that record. Mm-hmm. Obviously, your band is no more. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. So I'm Empire is not doing anything anymore. But basically, what happened is after we recorded that record, we wanted to follow up and do a tour. Right before that record, we'd done this great tour with Emery and some other bands, and it went really well. So we were kind of ready to keep it rolling or whatever. But after we recorded it, we got our release date pushed back a little bit. Didn't get any tour offers, so we spent 6 months not really touring or doing much.
And this was waiting on the release of the second record.
And it ended up being, from when we recorded it to when it came out, it was 9 months until the record got put out. So that was definitely a bummer. But at this point, we didn't have management anymore, and didn't really have a booking agent. We were just sort of floating. We'd lost our guitar player, Dan. So we'd been a 4-piece for about a year. And at the end of the day, I think we just kind of ran out of steam, because all that happened, and then Austin got married, and I got engaged, and our drummer was about to get engaged, and we're all looking at this like, okay, we're all 25, we still live at home with our parents and have no money, and we're always working and always trying to tour, and all our money just goes into this thing, and where's it going? And then in the middle of that, I was trying to maybe play with some other bands, so I talked to our friends in Spoken, and we were gonna try to do something where I came out and played, and it didn't work out. And same thing happened with Project 86, and I was kind of bummed because neither of them panned out. So it was like, oh man, that would have been cool. And then we went to Germany for the second year in a row. It was kind of our like, out of nowhere, gonna go to Germany, play this festival again, and it was awesome. And that's where I met Disciple. And that was the last show for Micah and Israel. And they just got Josiah. So they're really overhauling the band. And I literally said 6 words to Kevin. I was like, hey, how's it going? And, oh yeah, you're going to just you and Micah now. That Andrew quit the band. And he's like, oh, we got this guy Josiah. And Micah and Israel actually quitting too. And I was just like, oh, cool. Well, if you need someone to do a tour, I'm available. And he goes, aren't you in a band? And Austin from I'm Empire's like standing next to me. He's like, yeah, aren't you in a band?
Sold me out, bro.
Hey man, 6 months not touring. Like, I'm trying to go out and play. Like, I want to do this. And so yeah, I went out and did the first tour. And while I did my first tour with them, everything in I'm Empire's camp was just kind of getting more and more stale. And the record finally came out while I was on that tour, and Disciple had asked me to play with them. So I had this decision to make of, am I going to tell Disciple I'm going to play with them, or, go back home and wait for something to happen with I'm Empire. And I just felt like nobody wanted anything to happen with I'm Empire bad enough to where it was like, we were going to go out and work to get that again.
Sure, yeah.
Because like we'd worked so hard for the opportunities we had. You know, it wasn't like one person's fault. It was really strange, and we never had like a final thing or like a meeting or a fight or anything. Like when I go home, we all hang out, and I played guitar for some tracks Austin did recently, and Eric's got another band he plays with. Josh does music. It's very cool and fortunate that we're all still like close. But is there like, you know, guilt and that sense of like responsibility that, you know, I'm the one that left and then it stopped? Absolutely. But yeah, it was just time. I really did feel like it was what God wanted me to do. And you might look at it and say, well, oh yeah, of course you think that, because, you know, you're going to go and tour with this bigger band. But it was a hard decision, you know, the knowing too that I would have to eventually move out here. It wasn't like this easy thing where it's like, you know, oh yeah, I'm going to, you know, upstream to a bigger band and, you know, just keep my life and it'll be cool. It's like you want to trade that for everything. But it's very obvious it's where he wanted me to be and wanted me to go. And Kevin feels the same way. You know, the rest of the new band is in that same boat where it was this obvious thing where it worked. Because they had other people lined up before me that they wanted to have playing the band. But it just, for whatever reason, didn't work out. And, you know, here I come just saying, you know, oh, hey, call me.
Which, that's awesome how that works out.
You know.
So you joined, what was it, probably January 2013?
Yeah,
that
that
right?
was my first show.
So this is funny. I haven't told a lot of people. I've told you this, but we halfway through 2012, we had already recorded our album. We went to LA in like April, May 2012. We came home in June from LA, and we were just kind of waiting on the album to come out. Management said, hey, listen, you guys don't need to tour right now. We don't have a single ready. We don't have anything. So there's no point in you touring. So we were all kind of hunting for jobs because we weren't, I mean, the band essentially was kind of on pause till the album got mixed and mastered. And we hadn't built up enough clout to be able, we didn't have any songs to tour at the time. We didn't have anything on the radio. So we're all waiting. And that's when I started working at Moe's Southwest Grill. I lived at some apartments actually just down the road, the Village Apartments, and it was within walking distance. It's actually why I wound up at Moe's. There's a whole little shopping center, and I went and applied to literally every single company in the whole shopping center because I thought,
I'll work here.
I'm not going to tell you, but I'm only going to be here for a little while. Now, we expected our album to come out late summer 2012, maybe early fall. Then we thought, well, maybe September 2012, October, maybe sometime in December.
Think again.
So we played with Disciple, I think, at a festival in September-ish
Sounds about right.
of that year. And we saw an accident. We were actually headed back to our hotel. We saw a horrible accident. A guy flipped his car end over end, him and his wife, who was drunk. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I guess probably right before they played Christmas Rock Night.
Yeah.
So right before Kevin had met you, I was walking home from Moe's, and I remember it was very cold, and I get a call, and it says Kevin Young, and I was just elated because, you know, lead singer of my favorite band's giving me a call, but he remembers that I exist. And now he had mentioned, because I think Andrew had quit, they just got in Josiah. Now maybe he knew that Micah would be leaving at that point, but he was kind of talking to us, Justin and I, and like he'd, kind of dropped a hint like, hey man, I'm kind of looking for a guitarist. And so I remember him calling me and being like, hey man, you guys did Winter Jam and you've done a couple festivals this year, but you haven't done anything else. I mean, is everything okay? Are you looking for a band? Because I would really be interested in maybe having you come play with us, even if it's just for a little while. I don't want to ruin anything if you have anything else going on, but and I think the timeline that he was kind of talking about, because I was like, well, I would love to just come and fill in for a little while, but we actually went out on a tour with Red, but he was kind of like, I don't know if your band is broken up or not, but if you're looking,
he doesn't want to poach anybody. Like he was so nervous with me, like, I don't want your band to hate me. Like, I'm not stealing you. You want to do this right.
Yeah, so it's funny. So I felt bad at this. I would just love to play with Disciple for even for a show just to say I did. But I'm glad that he found somebody who is far better than I will ever dream of being. You're an incredible guitarist.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, so
There's that arrogance I just telling you about.
Humble brag.
Just
Come back.
lays it out deep.
No, well, the funny thing is to sort of give you my side of the story. I did this first tour with them, and I came home in March. It was a long tour for a couple months, and he'd asked me if I want to join the band, and I kind of said yeah, but like let me think about it. And I was in the middle of that process. The I'm Empire record was coming out, and they were going to do some shows in April and May, and I could be a little bit off on my timeline, but they ended up playing as a 4-piece without me, and he was going to do some more stuff after I got married in the summer. I want to say it was September-ish. I don't know. Somewhere in the middle of that 2013 year, he was like, yeah, I want to get you out here, but it's too expensive to fly you. And, if I need to, fly you out and pay you to play, like, it's not going to make sense. But there's this guy, Jake Jones, he plays with We As Human. He's going to come out and play, and it'll be totally cool. And, I'll give you a call again when XYZ happens and opens up. And now, mind you, my only knowledge of you guys at this time is him telling me that you two are the best guitar players in Christian rock music.
Yikes.
That's actually what he says. He's like, he's like, oh yeah, they're
I've
by
heard him
far
say.
the best guitar players in Christian rock music. Those, one's over here, then other guys over here, they're just both awesome.
That's my jam.
And so I was like, crap. And he said that you were going to come come out and play. And I remember I had this conversation with my wife, like, so I'm going to lose this job in Disciple if I'm not available to do this tour. So we actually made, I forget what kind of financial scheduling type of decision where I might have paid for one of my flights or something to go and do this run so that you couldn't play.
Oh my
In
gosh, it's like some sort of weird animosity. Do you guys want to fight?
And so here's the deal. I obviously didn't know you. This is like 2.5 years ago, and I was just convinced that if you played a show with them, then they would just keep you because you told me you were awesome and you already lived in Nashville. So I was like, all right. So we did some. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we did some kind of thing to make sure I could do this run.
Payday loan place.
Pot shot alone.
It wasn't like crazy, but it was like something that we wouldn't have normally done.
Nice.
So I could do that run, and now I just feel horrible because I had no idea Disciple was like your favorite band, and that you're like this, cool buddy of everybody.
No, it's okay. I came
Holding back
home.
the tears.
I think I came home.
I want to give you my guitar for like a whole tour, and I'll come back when it's over.
I came home and I think I called this guy and was like, Justin, you're never gonna believe the phone call I got. Kevin Young just called me and asked me if I wanted to like play some shows with Disciple. I was so excited.
He had diarrhea.
And but no, for real, it really even if you hadn't done that, I really couldn't have because we went out with Red. In support of our first single, which was Strike Back, for our song. But no, I've always wanted maybe that one opportunity. So, if you get in a really strange automobile accident in the parking lot as soon as we're done filming this, maybe with a baseball bat or something, if all your fingers fell off as you were walking out the door,
Very nice.
I would definitely fill in.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I can't think of a better guitarist that Kevin could have got.
Thanks, dude.
And this is, something to young aspiring musicians as well. And we see this a lot in the studio, the good and the bad, but being able to play your instrument well, which you really, really are phenomenal. I've watched you play many times. Every time we play with you guys, I'm I think we're all just right there.
It's like a freaking L'Oreal commercial with like Malmsteen going.
No, but you guys
coils and
you're really
doodads.
incredible. But being good at your instrument is only half the battle. There are a trillion amazing guitarists out there, and I think guitarists especially, because everybody wants to be a guitarist. You can buy cheap guitars. Everybody can learn. It's in YouTube. It's not that hard. Amazing guitar instructors that are offering incredibly great prices. Especially for guys that are in the music industry that know what they're talking about, that know skills that will actually apply to touring, the world. But sorry, I got off on that tangent. No, but all that to say, I really, really just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, well, you were just, I think, about to make the point of being good at your instrument.
Oh, yes,
is
yes,
not
yes.
the
So
only
we can
part.
always go back to bat bombs in World War II and Captain America. Like I've just been thinking about that. And
Hydra is real.
Hydra is a
Okay, no, but for real. So being able to play your instrument is only one half, and when I say one half, I mean 50% of the battle.
Yeah.
Because there really are plenty of good guitarists out there. It's being a person that is a cool hang, someone that you can, because being in a band is way different than I ever thought it would be. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be, especially on the relationship aspect, because you are cooped up, whether it's a van or a bus. You're cooped up with these people in a rolling tin can for days, months, years on end, all day, every day.
Yeah.
You spend, think about the amount of time you spend outside of your bus compared to the amount of time you spend inside of it. And it's ridiculous.
Prison. It's like a prison cell that's even smaller than a prison cell.
Yeah, you're paying to be
You're
there.
paying to be there.
Yes, and you're only
your
allowed
bunk.
to pee in the toilet. So,
or in the sink.
but that's
That's true.
if
That was
it's
always
ours.
my favorite.
I never
number
did that.
two's on the bus, and if you do, you're taking it out the window yourself.
Yes. Yeah. So being a cool hang is so important.
One of them was mentioning earlier that just being a good person is important to this whole thing we're talking about, and that's probably the best bit of wisdom we could give, because like you're saying, close proximity, no separation from these people, and you really have to be the type of person that can go 2 weeks without getting in an argument or forgetting to put on deodorant or whatever your thing might be.
All right. Well, it looks like
Listening, people want to do.
looks like all of our GoPros have officially died.
All
I think
of them.
we've reverted to cell phones and flip cameras and everything, trying to do this. But
It's a good 3 hours long. So yeah,
Is it? Yeah,
love
yeah.
the company.
Up to 7 hours now.
but
flies.
But no, man, Andrew, I really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us and kind of just talking shop. And like I said, Andrew Stanton from Disciple.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
An incredible band, a band that's been doing it for a long time. And really that's just a testament to, if you want it, you got to work for it. Yeah, man, we're just stoked to have you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, stoked to be here. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time we've seen you.
No,
No,
it
not
won't.
at all. Not at all.
No, let's go
Well,
place
unless we
in
get to
Texas.
charge the
alone.
GoPros. Then it might be the last time we see you.
Yeah. This is the last time you guys have seen me for this episode.
For this episode. All right, wait. Are you taking your shirt off? Andrew, put your shirt back on.
Stop doing
Sorry.
that.
No, it's
Come
okay. No,
on,
it's okay.
buddy. Put your
all right.
shirt. That's a nice tattoo.
Let's end on a random movie quote. Everybody has to have a movie quote right now.
Oh my
You
gosh.
don't even go here.
I'll start with mine.
Dun, 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 dun.
Grant the right of prima noctu. A most
Oh my
excellent
gosh.
idea, sire.
What is that from?
That's freaking Braveheart, man.
Braveheart.
I know that quote.
Scotland thing
Yeah, I'm
from
overthinking it now, but yeah,
It's a Nacho Libre.
they're breeding out all the Scots.
Yeah.
Remember that? And the guy goes
Yeah.
and tries to take that woman on the wedding night, and
Yeah.
that's what starts the whole quarrel. It's one of my favorites.
Something the Bruce.
The Bruce, Robert the
guy.
Bruce.
Robert the Bruce. There it is. Yeah, just friends. One of the best quotes is, "You got this. You live in California. He's Jersey. He skis in his jeans. He's Dinkelman.
Just friends. Ryan Reynolds is so funny. Have you seen The Proposal?
No, but I heard it's hilarious.
I mean, I don't love that movie. I eat whey protein and lift weight things. waiters, weights,
Sports.
heavy weights on my arms, big arms.
Disclaimer: Just Friends does have bad words.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks, Andrew, for coming and hanging out with us.
Dude, my pleasure.
And Justin Forshaw, Andrew Stanton,
Yep.
Luke. I always want to call you.
You
Luke,
looked straight
Luke
at me
Brooks.
and said, Luke.
What the heck?
Well, I always want to say Luke Brooks because it sounds awesome. But Brooks Holt, Luke Andrews, I'm Jake Jones. This
Thank you
is
for having
the Ruined Radio Podcast.
Okay, bye.
Here at RMS Studios in Nashville. Hit us up. We do all kinds of amazing things: recording, producing, mixing.
We'll make you sound good.
We got Facebook, Twitter,
Or look good.
Instagram.
Maybe
You
that
can
too.
find us all. JakeJonesProductions.com. E-Vapors.
Sinister guitar picks.
Sinister Guitar Picks.
Radio Cafe.
No, Kimmy G's Cafe will be
Kimmy G's.
hitting you up with more of that soon. Anyway, thanks so much for listening, and we will be back very, very soon. We love you. Okay, bye.